Okay, so today I have two goals to be accomplished. First is configure my router to DHCP server for the PC in my packet tracer, and after that I needed to set up PNet on my router to allow my PC to access a web server outside its network. So configure DHCP server is very simple and easy, simply saying that Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is network management used to automate the process of configuring devices on IP networks. It slows them to use network services as DNS, NTP, etc. So the advantage can be if there are many PC or default settings on PC, the IP will be set it up automatically. So let's do this. Okay, so let's do this. I have one router and one switch and PC. On the router, we can see router is connected with gigabit 0/0, and I will set the IP as 192.168.1.1 and 255.255.250, and also no shutdown to let them communicate. After that, configure DHCP server on the router. In this server, we'll define DHCP pools of address to be assigned to host a default gateway for the LAN and DNS server. First configuration would be IP DHCP pool my LAN and provide network IP address and default router address too. And finally DNS server IP. And we can add IP DHCP excluded address command to exclude address. Well, 192.168.1.1 through 10 when assigning address to silence, the IP DHCP excluded address command might be used to reserve addresses that can statically assign to key host. So I did IP DHCP excluded address 192.168.1.1 and 192.168.1.10. And in PC, we should check it is static or DHCP. If the IP config is in static, there are no points to do DHCP mode. Okay, what was that? So, let's go to the desktop and click the DHCP. And waiting. Boom. That's it. If I have another PC, I just need to click the DHCP mode like this. It will be very easy to set up the DHCP. Okay, so next is PAT. Port Address Translation. A single public IP address is used for all internal private IP addresses. PAT allows us to support many hosts with only few public IP addresses. So I made another new configuration right now because I was trying the original one that I did with DHCP, but it didn't work and the configuration was like so messed up. So I used another method. So basically what I've done in here is I set it up the basic IP addresses and of course no shutdown, and go to PC command prompt, and I check that if this one can ping to like a router 10.0.0.25.4, and it seems like it's working, so it is connected right now. And after I finished with my PC, I went to the router and double checked that I can ping back to him. And it seems like success rate is 100%. I'm good to go. And go back to router again. and go to conf and setting up another one. So IPNet inside. So I learned from this like labs that if there's an ISP on the right side and on my left side of my configuration, it is IPNet inside, and on the right side it will be my IPNet outside. And after that, I did apply private IP address to access the internet, which is with access list 1 permit 10.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.255, and finished. Also, I did access list 1 permit 10.0.0.0.0.0.0.255. So what we're gonna put right now is IPNet pool 1. Net, obviously, yes, net pool with a capital letter, 5.0.0.2 and 5.0.0.2. Net mask. So the thing is, we have to put the whole information in here. Net mask 255.255.255.255.0, and IP net inside source list 1 pool net pool. Okay, there was a wrong one. So after that I figured out and if I took the question mark, they said overload. So overload in address translation. So what is the overload in here? We have to do the pad. So I figured out that pad, I mean, it's not overload. I mean, they call that as overload too. So in this configuration, we can see that it's pad and overload as overload. So what I'm doing is, as we can see, I'm pinging back, and it seems like it's working right now. And go back to router. What we're going to do is, we're going to set up the debug net. Debug IP net, yeah. And after that, debug IP net is on. And after that, let's go to PC and router. I mean, in this process, we have to turn on the whole thing, like both things together. And enter. And we can see the net status expiring. But what we want to see is we're going to put the IP address in PC, and what we're going to, I mean, there's going to be the one that we want to see in. So I put ping 5.0.0.1 and look at the router. Every time when they ping in the left side from PC router, it does reply, and with the status with S mark, not just expiring mark. Yes, that is it. And after that, how to check what I've done is like right thing or wrong thing is really easy. I just to do like show IP net stat, like net status, and it will show total translations and how many hits and misses and expired translations. And net pool, net mask, whatever we need is going to be in here. And also, if I put like show IP net status again, like it's gonna show the same thing as expiring as net. Yes, so that will be it for today. Thank you so much.